It's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, this is the official Jaime Munguia versus John Ryder post-fight review, and the result of the fight is a Jaime Munguia 9th round stoppage. Really entertaining fight. I enjoyed it. I didn't think this fight was going to be a fight that lacked entertainment, and it didn't. Jaime Munguia showed his maturation as a fighter in this fight under the watchful eye of Freddie Roach. He scored 4 knockdowns on John Ryder. A really, a statement performance in a sense for him because, Canelo didn't even stop John Ryder. Nobody at 168 has ever stopped John Ryder. He hasn't been stopped since he was a middleweight back in the day when Nick Blackwell did it. So it's been some time, and he is one of the better 68-pounders out there. But Pop, before I get my thoughts on the fight, what did you make of Munguia versus Ryder?
For me, this is one of the most aggressive that I've seen from Munguia. Munguia from the outside came in there, came up like trying to fire a lot of bombs. He didn't land all of them, but he was aggressive through the whole fight. I think I gotta give credit. I gotta give props to Munguia, even though I was going for Ryder because he knocked the guy down 4 times, and you look at his health and everything. So I gotta give props for him. I like to see him in bigger fights, bigger names. No disrespect to Ryder. I think that I want to see one guy actually challenge him and see how good he really is. Not like if he fights Canelo, he's old to me, so it's not gonna. To me, I'm not gonna be happy if he beats him or not because he's an older guy.
He won't beat him, by the way, just so you know.
No, I'm just saying in general. And then I gotta give props to him for Ryder. He came in there, got knocked down in the 2nd round, got knocked down a few other times, and then but Brandon came out and told me before the fight. He said, "Pops, he's gonna get set." As the fight was going, he told me also he's gonna get set up with an overhand hand because he keeps leaving himself open.
He throws the left hand and he puts himself in a square position. Yeah. And he did it. He got dropped with it once, and he kept doing it. It was pissing me off.
Yeah, and sure enough, exactly what he said actually happened.
Yeah. So, look, I had mixed feelings coming into this fight because I thought Ryder had the skills to win and compete, and he did. But I also knew that, number one, if the fight were to go to the cards and it was to be a close fight, the powers that be were not going to let him win. But Munguia, credit to him, he didn't let it get that far. So that's why I give him the credit. He didn't let it get to that point. That's where he gets his credit from me. But I also knew that Canelo fight, because I watched it very closely, that fight took a lot out of him. So I was expecting Munguia to kind of come in here and wind up doing
what. But do you honestly think that Ryder, even if continue after the 7th and 8th round, he's actually going to get a win in this fight?
Was he going to get a win like he would have kept winning those rounds? No. Absolutely not. Okay. They were not going to give him that fight. Why would they...
I'm just asking you.
Why would the powers that be allow John Ryder, with all these losses, to get a decision in Arizona where they don't give... Okay. It's kind of like Texas.
Yeah.
So, look... We don't need to get into all that because there's no reason to get into it. Munguia stopped him, so he
End the story.
That's why that's why I'm giving him the credit. I'd have to come here and do the normal, like when John Ryder gets robbed. Oh, boxing hates, So credit to him for that. Mm-hmm. As far as Ryder, I thought his last 2 fights have been very frustrating, right? Because he fought 2 Mexican fighters. Ryder's a notorious slow starter, but he always comes on strong at the end. But in these last 2 fights against Canelo and Munguia, respectively, he makes these defensive lapses and gets caught. And they never corrected him in the gym. Tony Sims, I like him. Solid coach. But there's just some things I've really never seen John Ryder adjust to certain things. And I want to tell you this, like for example, in this fight, during the fight, before the fight, even after the Canelo fight, there was no adjustments made of John Ryder how to defend the right hand or any of that stuff. And I'm going to tell you this, Tony Sims got a job next week because Conor Benn's fighting Pete Dobson. I know people are saying, who's Pete Dobson, who's Conor Benn? Telling you, if you can't defend no straight right hand against Pete Dobson, you may lead the USA with 2 another fighter losing, and but this time as a favorite. So just you better hope. I hope you show Conor Ben how to defend the right hand because if it's anything like John Ryder, Conor Ben's getting an American ass whooping and he's gonna stay home. But look, Ryder, good fighter. I make it no secret, I'm a big fan of his because not the most skilled, don't punch the hardest, not the fastest, but I looked at him as an overachiever in boxing, and I think every time he fights valiantly, whether he wins or he loses. And look, I think this should probably be the end of the road for him because I think he's gotten what he needed out of boxing. He got the money he wanted. He's been in some big fights. He even said after this, he said before this fight that if he couldn't beat Canelo, or forget Canelo, Munguia, then he's gonna retire. So if it's already on his mind, follow through with it. You know, just follow through with it, cause there's like he's got nothing left to prove. People know that John Ryder was a real fighter, and if he stays, then these guys like Billy and Pacheco and Berlanga, he's just gonna be used for those guys, and unless he knocked them out, then you know that's
gonna hurt.
He'll always be on the wrong side of the decision. So I'd rather him just leave right now. In a good place with a good reputation. I want to, if it's going to be the end for him, because you were saying it might be the end, then I want to say I appreciate John Ryder for all the great fights over the years. I really enjoyed how his career has unfolded.
Yeah, and John Ryder doesn't need to go ahead and hang his head down, because he did the UK proud. He did what he's supposed to do. A dream of any fighter is to go ahead and make enough money for your family and livelihood. And
he did that.
And he did that, and he can go with even with this loss, go with your head up high and honor yourself, because you did the UK proud, and that's it.
Yeah,
thank you.
And as far as Munguia versus Canelo, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm a little more calm now because the live just ended. On the live, I was going crazy on the live. Right? I was talking crazy, right? But I'm not the biggest Munguia fan. I respect him a little more now, but I'm still not a fan. Like if he fights Canelo or Benavidez, I'm going for Canelo and Benavidez to beat up on Munguia, because I feel like we talk about manufactured careers. He's had one of the most manufactured careers. Now, to his credit, then these last two fights have been a good step in the right direction. Derevyanchenko, great fight of the year. John Ryder, nobody's ever stopped him at 168. He did it. So those are some feathers in his cap. As far as him fighting Canelo, I think obviously it's a winnable fight for him because he's younger. But I still think, just based on things I've seen in this fight with Ryder, you know, Ryder's not an elite counter puncher, and Ryder was having his fair share of success counter punching, Munguia, working inside the pocket and smothering Munguia. And I just think Canelo is at a higher level than John Ryder as far as counter punching. So I do, and he's a harder, more heavy-handed counter puncher than John Ryder. So I think there'll be more power to get hit the respect. He's a crisper, more precise puncher than a John Ryder. So even now, at his advanced age, I would still favor Canelo Alvarez over Munguia. Okay. And as far as him versus Benavidez, which I don't think they're going to make, because they didn't even say his name in the post. They knew every name but Benavidez. Yeah. But I think Benavidez would run him straight out the ring if they ever fought. And that's why they're going to not ever mention that name. And they're going to act like he don't exist. And they're going to say he's not Mexican, so we're not going to make the fight. We got to keep this money between. So, you know, look, good performance from Munguia. I liked what he was doing with overhand right. I liked his patience. But the defensive flaws are still there to be seen. And you can also frustrate this guy if you get on the inside and maul him a little bit. He don't like that. So just as long as your defense is tight and you can counter him, you have a chance to beat him.
Yeah, you got to make it uncomfortable for him.
But nonetheless, good performance, mature performance. Shout out to the man, Jaime Munguia. And we'll see how everything unfolds with him and Canelo and all that good stuff. And John Ryder, tip of the cap to you for a fun fight and if it's at the end, a great career. So, yeah. Leave your comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me. But I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this video, click right here and make sure you subscribe. Much love from sunny South Florida.